side. I don't know how to do this anymore. It's been a while since I sat down and filmed for my channel properly. I've been active on other platforms, however, YouTube was definitely not my, not my jam. Life happens, things came my way, work, general kind of like family stuff that took time, and not even time, but like just energy, and I didn't have energy to also film for YouTube. I've been active on my TikTok, so make sure you follow me there, and I always kind of repost stuff over my Instagram, but I do upload empties and bits that are only beauty related to my Instagram stories. Instagram stories for me is more exciting than my feed, not gonna lie, as long as you have a TikTok account. So today we are going to test out a foundation that is not necessarily like a proper testing. I did use it previously, it's just I did not have like a proper in-depth video about it. Obviously you probably could tell by the title, that's why I clicked it. So I'm gonna put this foundation from L'Oreal onto my face, half of it with like a brush, half of it with a sponge. I did this before over a TikTok, but I want to talk more onto it rather than just have like a 60-second video. You might have seen it, you might have not, but I always prefer like more in-depth, let's properly discuss a product. I love to talk and get myself lost into one product, and for some people it works well, especially when they want to buy it. So let's crack on with the video. I'm gonna do my brows first, actually. Not on camera, don't worry. We're gonna go in a snap of a second. Also, I bought myself a new mirror. This is from IKEA. I finally have like a stand, I can see myself straight mirror, which makes me feeling a bit more profesh. Right, so I'm gonna use Real Techniques applicators. I love the foundation brush. I also love the sponge. So it's quite like a fair drugstore test for a drugstore foundation. So here's the size of the sponge, all soaked into water. So I'm gonna start off with the foundation, which mine is in Light Ivory 01. This has SPF 50. It's a BB Cover Correct and Cares foundation serum, hydrating serum. And it's from the Age Perfect range. And it has like a squeezy tube, and I'm just gonna apply on this side, I guess. I don't have at hand my tray. I have like a plastic tray, which I prefer putting my foundation on and kind of like dabbing it on my skin. Quite far, I can't be asked going and getting it. And the only thing I would say about the color is that I got the lightest of them all, and this is quite still dark light ivory for my skin tone. It's not too dark, but you can definitely see a difference there, I'm not quite sure. There's a line, so what I recommend is just you need to get it a bit down on this occasion if you are quite pale. The only thing that worries me is that if you're much paler than I am, not quite sure how it's gonna look like. The thing is, I am quite lucky with my undertone, like I'm pale, but my undertone is slightly kind of olive undertoned. It is not slightly, it's actually olive undertoned. And I feel I can trick sometimes the foundation if it's darker to look all right onto my skin. As you can see, there's not much difference between this and that. It's just my neck, I feel it might be a tiny bit lighter. And sometimes I just, if it's not pitch perfect, I need to dab it down. However, you can see it is extremely like glowy. The coverage is there, but you can still see through my spots. I have some kind of like, not spots, scars. So it's not like full coverage. It's definitely onto the serum side. It feels super lightweight. It applied like a dream with my sponge. And so far, so good. It's not full coverage, which obviously it is to be expected from a serum foundation. Moving on to the other side. It is the first time in my life when I'm spilling foundation onto my t-shirt, and for some odd reason I felt like today I'm gonna do something to my t-shirt. I mean, at least you can't see it on camera, but hopefully it's not gonna sink into what is it called, the material, just because it is one of my favorite kinds of like t-shirts. Also, I don't know what I did to this brush, but it's like dunked in here. Anyway, so this is the Real Techniques 200 brush. This is an expert face brush. I actually have another one of these from the older collection, which I keep it in my work day-to-day kind of like set of brushes, because I had to actually adjust my makeup to work and just like filming brushes, because otherwise it was just be a mess to keep this huge kind of like box with brushes. But anyway, we're just gonna start to apply this one. I need to move the mirror. So, like I said before, I use this foundation exactly like this, both with a sponge and a brush. And I feel with a brush, it is just keep the coverage much stronger. Here I had like a few scars, and as you can see, you can't see them anymore. So yeah, it depends like how much coverage you want, but it is possible to build it, which is amazing. It's very versatile. And I think everybody prefers that kind of a foundation because they can adapt it to any occasion they might have. Like, let's try it here without spilling any foundation. But if I dab just a tiny bit over here too, if I try to kind of like apply it, you can see it indeed covers it. So it's amazing how kind of like visible it is to kind of like use a sponge and a brush. I like that, like I do. And speaking on how it feels onto the skin, it is super lightweight. It definitely feels like a serum. If you tried the L'Oreal True Match serum, it's quite similar vibes. However, I feel that one, it's a slightly bit more lightweight. That is my favorite foundation. I don't have it in my collection at the moment because I'm trying to be good and finish up the foundations that I already have into my collection. However, it feels very similar, to be honest. This one is quite nice because it has SPF 50. I'll give credit to that. However, I feel the shade range for True Match is much better. So if you are much lighter than I am, maybe don't opt for this unless they actually have more like a shade range. Sometimes certain launches in the UK have less kind of like colors to choose from rather than the American kind of like market. And maybe it might be the same case with this one. So if it's the same case with this one, then you're good to go. If not, and this is the lightest shade of them all, if you're much lighter, just go for the True Match serum. Right, so now I'm gonna conceal quickly, powder it down with you, and I'm gonna let you know with some final thoughts about this guy, whether you should purchase it or not. By the way, I'm using the Accord Parfait Perfect to Match L'Oreal concealer. Surprisingly, I actually did a review about this one and I was like, I'm not that impressed. It's not a bad concealer, like I said that in the video, but I'm not like extremely impressed. However, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my god, this is outstanding, it is the most like high coverage concealer. I don't think it's the most high coverage concealer. However, I really like it for work, because if I want to like be quick like I am now, just because obviously the foundation is the main character to this video, not the concealer, and I just want to be quick because I also want to film more today. It's so good just to kind of like and it's like I'm done. Literally, just because it's very like liquidy, the coverage is not like massive, and because it is not like super high coverage, it enables me to be able to quickly blend it in. So now I'm gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury powder along with the powder puff. I am so sorry I'm using this one. I know it's expensive, but can we get a round of goddamn applauses? This is me with a million products hitting the pan. This is so good. So I'm just gonna quickly dab onto the under eye area, a tiny bit on the forehead, because can you see how glowy this foundation is? It is a tiny bit overwhelming in certain areas, so I always kind of like powder down the T-zone, but this powder at least enables still the glow to be visible. It's just a bit more like dulled down, more like natural, not like so much in your face. So yeah, and I'm also gonna take with a big powder, but not powder puff. I'm so into the powder puff that I almost said again powder puff. Just a powder brush, and I'm kind of like lightly dabbing this one in like so. I have normal skin, I don't need that much powder. So this is how the skin looks like powdered down. Obviously this foundation is more suitable for normal to dry skin in my opinion. Of course, if you have oily skin, you might want like the mattest foundation on planet Earth, unless you use like a primer that is mattifying and a powder that kind of like properly sets it in place. But of course, I don't have that skin type anymore, so I'm not gonna be the person to tell you if that's gonna work still. Look at this glow. It's so glowy. At the same time, it doesn't emphasize my fine lines. So if I'm getting closer, it is just like super smooth. Also around the under eye area. I mean, of course I have concealer, but still, I'm just mentioning it. And around here, it's just like, it's so good. And of course, because I just put the foundation down, you might say, oh, of course it didn't settle into the fine lines and stuff. It doesn't do it hardly, even, you know, the longer you keep it on your face. However, because I'm gonna film more content right now, it's gonna probably take me like around an hour, if not more. I'm gonna check you in with my face to see exactly how it wears off. Of course, on top of the fact that I'm gonna speak a lot, so these lines are gonna move a lot. So I'll be right back with check-ins. Right, I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible because my camera is dying and I don't have a backup battery. Anyways, I'm super different just because I filmed a couple of videos. I'm trying my best to kind of like put effort and look as if I'm filming them in different days when I'm not. Anyhow, this is the foundation, how it looks like. I'm scared. Sorry, I have all of these on my hands and I'm scared I'm gonna touch the wall. So this is how the foundation looks like close up. And as you can see, it didn't settle that much into my fine lines, and I've been filming for like actually 2 hours. It looks really good, genuinely. I mean, look at the fine lines. They did settle tiny bit over here, but seriously, what do you expect? Obviously, it's gonna settle at some point. Oh my god, it's itchy. In my fine lines. However, it is such a wearable day-to-day foundation. It's not gonna make you look cakey if you go to work and stuff. So I really like this foundation. My conclusion is it is a bit thicker than the True Match serum foundation. However, it is extremely similar. The advantage with this one is the SPF. Other than that, how it wears on the skin, pretty much identical. So if you have the True Match serum, I don't think there's a point buying this one. But if you don't, and if you like the idea of SPF and you're like a skincare fanatic, buy this one instead. Unless you need a lighter shade, which then go to True Match serum. It's a bit of a twister in here, but this is the reality. This is an honest review. And without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was useful and relevant. And if you did like it, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell button, like the video, comment down below. Maybe you want to see something next. And I'll see you hopefully within the next one. Bye. I need to take this one off. Look at this. An eyeshadow review if you want to check it out.